Ben-Jochannan.
Hi, I'm Paul Mooney. BET's top 25 shows have traditionally honored the best and brightest moments in our community. Well, that's not why we're here. Right now, we're exploring, excuse the pun, our dark side. For the next hour, we'll be looking at events and plain old stupidity that we are so sadly capable of. Welcome to BET's top 25 most moments in black history. We love black people to death, but this list of folks are just dead wrong. If they acted a fool, they made our list. 25 moments of whacked history for your edification. We have celebrities, comedians, critics to help us count them down. BET's 25 most embarrassing moments. Believe me, it's all downhill from here.
Welcome to Bite Now.
D.C. Mayor's sex and drugs arrest.
Who knew snipers could be black?
Crack is whack.
Crack with something in your behind. Things do change.
BET's top 25 most moments.
The first moment shows how some black folks love to mess up a good time. At number 25, the Source Awards fights. Duck, duck, bullets, bullets.
Here you have a show celebrating the power and pageantry and the success of hip-hop, and it devolves into chaos.
It's too much ego in one room.
You've been talking smack about me on your record all this time, and you're here? Lo and behold, it's Mr. Cuff's time.
You know, cats can sometimes get a little carried away.
What you talking about, Willis?
They look like Royal Rumble. I thought I was looking at WWE for a minute.
These fight on camera. I don't want to know what goes on after it's over in the parking lot.
Could you imagine?
Like, wait till after the show. At least till the cameras stop rolling.
I'm never shocked when they fight. Sometimes I'm shocked they haven't fought yet. I'm like, it is 30 minutes into the show and nobody's dead? What the hell is going on?
That's the only place Mike Tyson's gonna be able to get a fight in 5 years, at the Source Awards.
The Source Awards set the stage for violence at award shows. It took award shows, which is mostly about champagne and awards, took it right down to the street. Rick James was the king of punk funk, but he got punked himself by crack.
That crack ain't no good for you. You ain't got no kind of judgment.
He burned the chick with the crack pipe.
With the crack pipe. Yeah, that's a bit much. That's crossing the line.
Rick was caught, not with one, but several women. It wasn't just one girl. He'd take her out to the spot, tie the girls up, and burn her with the crack pipe. And his girlfriend was down with this as well.
She wanted to leave. They didn't want her to leave. Sometimes your friends don't want you to leave the party.
She said she wanted to hit the pipe, so he was like, "Pow! Here you go."
I didn't believe it at first. Rick James would never. Then they showed him. I was like, Rick James, damn. He was very freaky.
The crack thing got him. And it led him to some behavior that ended up destroying his career and putting him in jail.
As he said, and it's the famous quote, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
That was your number 24 moment. Now you see how embarrassing things can get. There's a lot more to come. Now take a look at number 23.
Actor Martin Lawrence became involved in a police incident. Mr. Lawrence ran into the intersection and began yelling at moving vehicles.
LA is famous for road rage, and Martin Lawrence took it out of the car and onto the pavement.
His career was starting to, falter a little bit. He wanted to come out with a sex tape, but there was nobody willing to take him up on their offer. So the next best thing is, is to wild out and go crazy.
Van Nuys officers responded. The officers also recovered a handgun from Mr. Lawrence's pants pocket.
He had too much going on inside there, and it was just like an overload.
He was on tour, doing concerts, he was doing movies, he was a newlywed. Newlywed alone will make your ass go crazy. Bam! I'd have done the same thing.
I also think that he was a little shell-shocked from having done that movie, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I'm sure he probably was like delusional, thinking the Lynn Whitfield character was after him.
They say his doctor said that he wasn't taking his prescription medication. Yeah, I got a doctor I go to. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go check in when I leave here.
Martin Lawrence is a method actor, and I think that what he was doing was practicing for a scene in the upcoming movie. And that's how I addressed that. He didn't go crazy. He was practicing a scene. He was playing Dave Chappelle.
Lopez burnt down the Atlanta mansion she shared with her boyfriend after a fight.
She was not trying to burn down his crib. She was trying to burn his sneakers.
What brings a woman to that point? Men.
Threw his favorite sneakers in the tub and set them ablaze. And then was probably crying and got a phone call from the girlfriend. And she was like, you won't believe what he did. And then she was, you know what?
He tried to burn his possessions inside the house. No, no, no. You bring his important possessions out into the lawn, and then you burn them up, and you save the house, and you still make your point.
Women love that. They calling each other, girl, turn on the news. Left out and burnt down Andre Rising career. And no, they cheer. They cheer for that. One for the team.
He shouldn't have been a creep. He would have still had a place to live.
Some women was going around burning the brothers up in the neighborhood. I burned 3 of them. I'm getting back at them. Terrible.
Kelly said it best, man. It's nothing like a woman fed up, man.
You know, nobody could think about Left Eye and forget about that.
I never promised to be politically correct.
Whoopi and Ted dancing at the Friars Club. Wow. Talk about a frightening sight.
The Friars roast, when you have that, it's supposed to be secret and all kinds of horrible, horrible things go on.
She lets him get in blackface. I mean, we should know better.
Who was the joke on?
It was a bad call. Maybe they were smoked out.
Was she spoofing him and his ancestry? was he spoofing her? Were they battling? We're putting it out there. Can you handle it? I can't even joke about that.
Some people say it was funny, but there was a room full of white people laughing at blackface, which they used to do back in the 20s. So they were like, well, I don't see what the problem is. This is what you do.
Walk into a room and I see black people in the room and I go, I wonder if they're really angry at me.
It was just a bad look. You know, it just brought back too many sore memories.
Nothing in blackface except somebody that's actually black with a black face can be in blackface.
The whole day was over the top.
Yes, yes. You got a very thin line that some people can cross and some people can't.
It has to be funny.
You know, Whoopi Goldberg with her status, she probably thought that was a line that she could cross, but, you know, everybody didn't laugh at that one.
Oh my God, Terrell Owens.
Yeah. It's one thing to celebrate a touchdown by doing a little dance. Another thing to run all the way across the field to the middle of your opponent's thing, stand in the middle of the logo, and show off.
Terrell Owens celebrations are, for some reason, really about him. When people start pumping weights and becoming real strong and, you know, well-built, and they start to become really arrogant.
Because there's no politics in Terrell Owens, it's all ego.
There's some sunshine in Terrell. That's all I'm saying.
In the course of less than a year, he went from the hero of Philadelphia in Super Bowl to being the outcast of Philadelphia by training camp.
Terrell is like the poster child for how not to ask for a raise.
Suspended NFL star Terrell Owens has apologized, but it didn't help.
He delivers a statement, reads it off the piece of paper. Really wasn't heartfelt.
He was going good for a minute, but then when his lawyer jumped in.
What's his name? Rosenhall, Rosen crib, Rosen apartment? Because that's what T.O. gonna be in if he don't get back to the league.
He was not in charge.
Next question, next question, next question, next. It didn't make sense.
And there was Terrell standing behind him like nothing was going on.
Fire that dude. You know that dude. Fire that dude, man.
I think T.O., this Negro, is going to give us a few more moments before his career is up.
She was an alcoholic, clearly, and I'm not judging.
The longer it went on, the more ridiculous it got.
Everybody said the same thing. This did.
BET's Top 25 Most Moments.
By the end of this hour, you'll want to rub the black off of Eminem's face. Here's the next moment on the countdown.
I made plenty of mistakes.
That was an understatement. Jason Blair has a job that any journalist in the world would want to have. He's got a prime job at the New York Times, the most famous newspaper in the world. He's writing stories set in the Midwest. He's writing stories set all around his country, and he's sitting at a bar in Brooklyn.
Journalism is supposed to adhere to some measure of the truth. Even though it's really tempting, you can't just make things up. And Jason just kind of made it up.
He took down, like, 2 top news people. Even Judith Miller didn't do that.
It's like R. Kelly with rape. It's like O.J. Simpson with murder.
Jason Blair, affirmative action.
A lot of white people just came out right and said, okay, well, that's an example of affirmative action.
They pointed to Jason Blair and said, see, this is what we don't like about it.
He wasn't just functioning as like an individual writer and making things up. He was carrying the weight of the race, and he dropped the ball big time.
You know, we don't have that many people in that kind of like level of journalism who are respected. And the fact that he just totally went and effed it up made the rest of us look really bad. That and you spell your name with a Y.
The most heartening thing for me was when he wrote a book about it and everybody was horrified that he's cashing in on his being a liar, basically. It bombed. Nobody was interested.
And that makes me sad.
I hope he's seeing a really good shrink right now. Jason Blair needs one.
He needs to be smacked upside his head is what he needs.
Actually, I wasn't embarrassed by him. I actually loved it. All the stealing that he did. I love that. White folks stole us. Why not?
What's up with Dave Chappelle Show?
Hey, you just won $52 million. What are you going to do? I don't want the money. I'm going to the motherland.
Everybody's like, where's Dave? Where's Dave? Where's Dave? You seen Dave? Where's Dave? Where's Dave? You seen Dave? And everybody asks me, do I think Dave is crazy? If I go to the hood and I tell my boys, yeah, man, I don't even want $52 million, they're going to look at me like, are you crazy?
I know that when Dave took that $50 million, he got a deposit. They gave him 6, 7, and he was like, you know what? These white people's getting on my nerves.
Yeah. No word yet on Dave Chappelle's show and why it's being delayed.
It was tough for me. I'm on the show, and I didn't really think it was reality. I sat on set for 3 weeks. Ain't nobody say cut. I'm like, I'm still working. Quiet on set, man.
I don't understand, like, leaving for South Africa and telling no one. Even your manager.
$50 million, I would go to Africa tour. I'll go back and try to spread some of that shit.
He smoked a couple, though.
Stop it.
I didn't know he was going home where he had to learn how to speak Swahili.
A lot of us was waiting for a phone call. I was like, we all gonna work.
Yeah.
He got $50 million. We all
And then he
Nobody
broke
got
out.
a job.
And then he broke out.
I wish the next folks would have disappeared instead of Dave. At number 17, Flavor Flav and Brigitte Nielsen. Brigitte Nielsen went from Rambo to Sambo, and now she's on the Lambo. I saw Flavor Flav at the airport. He looks so old, he should have pawned that clock. Time has caught up with him. He looked 10 minutes older than dirt.
Bridget Nielsen and Flavor Flav, boy, I swear to God, that I look like a giraffe and a little baby monkey. I don't know what else. I don't even know how to put it.
He tried to mate with a gigantic Amazon blonde woman.
Why is everybody looking at that like that's something to look at all of a sudden? Black people's been boning white women for years.
First of all, she was 7'9", and he 4'2". You can't feel like a man when you gotta sleep up by her face and then your feet are in her titties. Hit me!
Did you see them on that show? It was amazing. She was an alcoholic, clearly, and I'm not judging.
That Russian chick was crazy, but Flav was just as crazy. The way he was talking to her, then her responding with my flavor bunny, boogie, bunny. Like, there's no way that you could believe that.
You don't have no white woman call you no foofy foofy. What is a foofy foofy? And that's something you would call a female, not the man. How you foofy foofy?
This is where blacks and whites came together. Because when blacks and whites saw that, this was their reaction.
And somebody's got to tell Flav that the clock is over, man. Tell him to take it off.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just thinking about when, Cuba Gooding Jr. won the Oscar. A lot of the industry expects us to be monkeys anyway.
Cuba's Oscar speech for Jerry Maguire was embarrassing because he was still playing the character. He was still just bursting with energy.
It's not that we're mad that he's jumping up and down. It's just that he didn't jump high.
You knew you were going to win. How surprised could you be? And then after that, he really suffered from the Oscar curse because he did garbage like Boat Trip.
Boat Trip was bad. You gotta weigh your options, man. And some people take risks. I can't knock it. Boat Trip? Would I personally have done Boat Trip? No. We in Hollywood. There's only one BET. So we gotta get higher. You gotta take roles when they come. You talk to the guy who started Soul Plane, so I can't judge him. Only thing I can say about Cuba that's negative is the scene in Boys in the Hood. The fight in the air, that's the only... Right there, dog. I went with you on that. But everything else, you my man.
Are you ready to throw up yet? And we're not even halfway through. When we return, we'll find out what's crackin' with the best of the worst of BET's most moments.
Some type of weapon went off that was so monstrous that it nearly knocked me down.
In one game last year, he destroyed a television camera.
I don't know how you're gonna be on international TV talking about you sleep in the bed with little kids. If Mike would have had to slap me,
Back out.
I don't think I was supposed to say that.
BET's Top 25 Most Moments.
Welcome back to BET's Top 25 Most Moments in Black History. I'm Paul Mooney. You know, in the last 25 years, black people in America have enjoyed incredible freedom. The freedom to excel, to build incredible careers, and the freedom to it all up. Today, we look at the folks who took full advantage of these liberties. We've assembled some of the most vocal, irate black people we could find to help us count down the moments. We continue our list now.
Latrell holds a special place on this list because I think he could be here twice. Incident number 1 for choking a coach.
Choke the out of that white man.
Yeah, can I get more playing time? You gonna put me in?
Oh!
Sensitive brother, man.
They had a confrontation, and Latrell left, and then came back. Now, who ain't done that? You have confrontation, you go back and sit in your car for a minute and like, I can't believe this man. And you go back, let me hold up. Yeah.
You get mad, you flip out, you choke out, you lose a check.
Here we are a few years later when Latrell gets offered a 3-year, $21 million contract and turns it down because he says, I have to feed my family. I said, oh, Lord, no, he didn't say that.
I gotta feed my babies now. I was stuck on stupid when I heard the line. I'm just looking at the TV like this.
Oh, man, he's looking at it from a different scale. Basketball players, they have a totally different lifestyle.
You have a right to say that, you know, this contract is beneath you or you deserve more, but you need a better line that I got to feed my family.
That was great. That reminded me of something that Miles Davis said once. They asked Miles Davis, if you had 15 minutes to live, how would you use it? He said, choke some white man to death.
A barricaded house, bursts of gunfire, tear gas, and water cannon. That was the scene today in Philadelphia as police confronted members of a radical back-to-nature cult called MOVE.
They're this crazy organization of black nationalists who've holed up in his house. So suddenly this neighborhood is decimated by a bomb dropped by the black mayor.
Some type of weapon went off that was so monstrous that it nearly knocked me down.
Mayor Wilson Goode was the first black mayor of Philadelphia.
He has a plane drop over the house, a helicopter actually, and it drops a bomb on the house.
Rocket launchers and SWAT teams and just start shooting in.
I'm sure there were other ways of dealing with that. That was harsh.
Mayor Wilson Goode justified the assault.
I am totally convinced that the organization is bent on confrontation.
It is embarrassing to perform what is basically a paramilitary move and drop a bomb. You would expect this mayor to have some sensibility.
People died in the house. I mean, it's a serious event.
People in Philly don't even talk about it. With nobody white involved.
No love for the mayor.
That was black on black crime of the worst kind. Now we've got a few moments on movies.
Black movies.
But there's certain great all-time embarrassing films.
Babs, Halle Berry, Natalie Desselle. Was it a bad movie?
It was a cinematic travesty.
Yeah. Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal.
That was a cinematic nightmare.
Can't blame Kobe for that. We'll do this movie about this genie. It's gonna be for my kids. It's gonna be horrible, but watch how I flip the industry.
Stick the ball, don't act anymore, Shaq.
Tu Wong Fu. Wesley Snipes was in drag.
Get out the dress, Wesley.
I didn't see that one. On purpose. Soul Plane.
Who saw that? Soul Plane.
You saw the movie. I know you didn't see it in the theater because it made like $800,000 in the theater and $72 million on bootleg.
Hell no. I don't think Soul Plane deserves a place on our most embarrassing movies list because I was a star of it.
It's one of those type of movies. You're just like, yo, I'll wait till UPN plays it.
We should put that in the archives and bury it.
Diana Ross is facing drunk driving charges. Police say her blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit.
When she was pulled over for her DUI, she couldn't even keep it together. She couldn't do the alphabet. She couldn't walk.
They knew she was drunk because they pulled over. Was like, excuse me, ma'am, what's your name? She was like, Mahogany. Mahogany. They was like, oh, this is drunk.
It was the MTV Awards when Little Kim had the little Chi-Chi star on.
Diana Ross comes out with her and like starts grabbing her boob and fondling it.
I like the way she smacked it. Remember, she was like,
Boo, this is not Baccarat. Like, you don't just like pick up the crystal and feel it.
It's like, I run this. It was me before you, Little Kim. Give me a But Little Kim was cool. She was like, okay, this is one of the Supremes popping one of my let me chill. And she frisked somebody back at the Heathrow Airport. I think that's great. You know, I'm Diana Ross. You don't touch me. I touch you.
This woman went all around my body and up and down my legs with her hands, and I felt very uncomfortable. And I actually reacted because I was very upset.
That shows you somebody wants something. You know, when you start frisking security,
Diana acts out. You know, she's like the diva personality.
Thank you so much.
Jerry.
Jerry.
You know,
every moment is embarrassing on Jerry Springer for black people.
I think Jerry Springer is an equal opportunity embarrassment machine.
People will go on a show like Jerry Springer Money and just let it all out.
He slept with my cousin's friend, and I'm here to tell her that I did it first. Jerry.
People bear their dirty laundry. I mean, hang it out, dangle it in front of you.
You're my woman, you ain't leaving. Try to leave. I'll whip you. Jerry.
I love all the titles.
I got something to tell you. What? I'm a man.
Why didn't you tell me, girl?
I was gonna tell you, but I didn't know how you felt. Jerry.
And then the wigs come flying off. Why is his ratings still where they are? Who's watching it besides me?
I have a stupid show. It's a stupid show.
The Jerry Springer Show is very healthy. It helps black people work out their problems, like Cops and 10 Most Wanted.
O.J. Simpson is wanted for a double murder.
where in the world does he think he's going?
The Browns keep it real, man.
Oh, don't bring up the snipers, dog.
BET's Top 25 Most Moments.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Paul Mooney. We're always celebrating the best and the hottest in these countdown shows. It's about time we highlighted the worst and the lowest. This is BET's Top 25 Most Moments in Black History. Number 10 proves that for fans, basketball isn't just a spectator sport.
An ugly brawl, the start of which blamed on one player.
Ron Artest, boy, you made the cut, brother.
Ronnie Artest is a unique player.
He's already been suspended at least 10 times. In one game last year, he destroyed a television camera.
Anger Management 101.
This is what became of the Pistons-Pacers game at the Palace of Auburn Hills.
You're in a hostile environment in Detroit.
Pandemonium.
Laying on the table in their arena. Yeah, a beer gonna come down there and hit you in the head.
I mean, you could throw a cup at me, I'm gonna probably get a little pissed too. But there's certain things you just don't do.
Duke ran up in the stands.
Yeah, he just like, yo, I ain't having it. Go pick on somebody else, not me.
He had been wild as hell. Everybody to his height, right in the eye. And he'd go in the stands to get in a fight with a dude that's 5 foot.
Unbelievable. He said that it's time that a white man get punched.
That was it.
That's all.
Ron Artest is suspended for the rest of the season.
And how much does he make a year? What's that? That was
$6 million.
$6 million punch.
It was good punch though. I'm not gonna mess with you. Good shot.
You know, the Indians invented basketball. They chopped off the white man's head and just bounced it around. The next moment on the countdown gave professional boxing its most biting criticism ever. Watch this.
There's so much to say about Mike because his whole life has become this kind of carnival.
I heard of bipolar. Mike is like hexpolar or whatever. He got 6 personalities. He damn near that Sybil.
When he bit Lennox, that was an appetizer. When he bit Evander, that was meat.
when he finally encountered somebody who was tougher than him, instead of being like Ali,
he goes for the man's ear. And not only does he bite it, but he wrestles off it like he got a chicken bone. There's like that last piece of meat on the chicken bone, and he pulls it off, and then he spit it.
You'll never be able to whisper nothing to me. I don't trust you.
he doesn't even have language. I mean, he said, I'm gonna fade off into Bolivian.
Huh? Ain't that a country?
It's oblivion, okay? O is the first letter.
Mike read the dictionary in prison, and them words just come to him, just out of the blue.
He told another guy, I'll make you my... Yo, that's some real sub-ghetto stuff.
He gonna eat Lennox Lewis's children? Come on, Mike, them ain't gummy bears. Those are kids.
For black folks, it was once again yet another reason why we never gonna be free.
You don't let a person on medication fight in a ring. He bit that ear off. And I love it because all the white audience, all the VIP on the front got blood all over them. I love that. And they were just chanting, holy Phil, holy Phil. And when Mike bit that ear off, holy Moses, it's very interesting.
The East Coast, West Coast beef was embarrassing for hip-hop because none of you own any of these coasts.
What the hell are y'all doing?
You can't even represent your street, really, because you don't own the street. You can represent your shirt.
The East Coast, West Coast beef was irritating at first because, like, what are these guys arguing about? They're all being successful. And it got really tragic. It went beyond embarrassing to tragic when Tupac and Biggie both died.
The LAPD is investigating whether Biggie's murder may have been in retaliation for Shakur's, something fans on both coasts seem to believe.
This makes no sense. It was just stupid. Because what's it about? It's about one guy who makes records and another guy who makes records beefing about the record.
Hey, fat boy. First off, touch your chick and the click you claim. West side, when we rock, I'm equipped with game. But it quickly turned into almost like some sort of a urban civil war. But let's face it, it was all ridiculous. It was all hype.
It's become a joke to a lot of people.
A lot of the individuals that, you know, were involved, I'm sure when they sit down and they look at the clippings and they read the articles, I'm sure they go, oh my God.
These guys took it to a level of gangsterism that was unnecessary.
And I'm sure their mothers were not happy about that.
The entire country watched the seventh moment live. It's the O.J. Simpson chase.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm in Madison Square Garden. It's the NBA Finals. Rockets versus Knicks. I'm looking up at the screen, and there's a white Bronco on the screen in the middle. Why are they showing this Bronco in the middle of the broadcast?
O.J. Simpson is wanted for a double murder. Pushing along this freeway without much problem at all.
I think he was doing the speed limit.
Just kind of like slowly trotting along the highway and seeing folks out with these signs like, go OJ, go OJ. Go, Orenthal, go. And you kind of wondered, where in the world does he think he's going?
I'm sure what was going through his mind is like, Al, hurry the F up. I got to get out of here.
Everybody was like, OJ, just pull to the shoulder of the road, man.
The longer it went on, the more ridiculous it got.
Remember OJ when he used to run through the airport? He was like, man, what happened to that dude, man?
But he's a black man, so I had to support him. I was like, nah, he's innocent. It's just when you run like that, it just looks real shady.
Wow, here was one of our greatest athletes running like he'd never run before.
That's just typical OJ, and it all fits. You know, the glove did, but everything else.
OJ. Well, my grandmother, she's passed, like my grandmother said. Those OJs didn't do that. Them boys are good singers.
That show, when he said Whitney was constipated, and he went in there with them 5 fingers to get that, okay, that's love.
It's very, very, very sweet.
The Browns keep it real, man. I love that chaos.
It's embarrassing, but you know what? They're not embarrassed.
His love is so deep that it goes up into the crack of her ass.
Crack is wet.
Whitney and Bobby on Diane Sawyer, that was kind of embarrassing.
We're not talking about that. Whitney asking Diane Sawyer to produce receipts for her crack use.
Show me a receipt.
The receipts, Whitney?
Diane Sawyer's like, I have no idea. I don't have crack receipts. Do we have crack receipts?
All my cousins who deal drugs don't never give out a receipt.
Here you go. Any problems? See any crack dealer anywhere in the United States, they'll refund you.
There's crackheads out there going, I didn't know there was some receipts. Do we get tax write-off for crack?
What she mean, crackers for poor people?
Oh, I don't know. You know how much crack costs? Crack is for poor people. That's right.
I think that was an affront to poor people everywhere. Poor people can't afford no crack.
I can't afford crack.
Whitney, shape up, baby. You too good for that.
Crack is whack.
Next, brace yourself for the top moments in black history, including the #1 moment.
Black people don't hang babies out the window. Black people might leave the babies over their aunt house for like a week.
The man looked like a criminal. Get caught with the or get caught with the crack. BET's Top 25 Most Moments.
You're watching BET's Top 25 Most Moments in Black History. I'm your host, Paul Mooney. Today we're looking at the moments that made you cringe and feel ashamed for black people everywhere, even in graveyards. These moments are like selling slaves. You can't help but watch. You could be next.
Being someone who has grown up on Michael Jackson, you know what Michael's face looks like for real. But it don't look like that anymore.
Do we still call him black? He probably checks other when he fills out job applications now because he's not really black. He's kind of like a middle-aged Korean lady. The reason his admission to sleeping with the young boys was so embarrassing is because nobody thought Michael was gay.
Michael has a lot of issues with his child care habits.
He would be the last babysitter I would have for my child.
When you got $1 billion in the bank, you can dangle your baby over a balcony.
They look like, yeah, who wants the baby? Who wants the baby? Run long, go long, go long.
There's a blanket over this baby's head. All you see is little legs dangling.
It's confusing because you have a baby named Blanket with a blanket over the baby's head.
Black people don't do that. Black people don't hang babies out the window. Black people might leave the babies over their aunt house for like a week.
Poor baby. Poor Blanket.
Mike needs a slap man. You know,
What's a slap man? Tell him what a
somebody
slap
who
man
can
is.
slap him
Yes.
when he says something stupid.
Yes.
I don't know how you're gonna be on international TV talking about you sleep in the bed with little kids. If Mike would have had a slap man, he would have got that whole sentence out.
Nope.
You know?
Nope.
I don't see
Nope.
what's wrong with sharing your bed with little.
Back out.
I don't think I was supposed to say that.
All the surgeries Mike had, all the allegations, all the sleeping in a tube, all the nose jobs, the chin jobs, the skin jobs, would he really be Michael Jackson without all of that? Look at me, I'm a comical genius. Did none of that. Nobody knew who the I am.
Only thing Michael did wrong was sing. That's what brought all the attention to him, singing. He should have been a priest, and then it just transferred him.
It was a one-night stand between Bryant and a clerk at a Colorado resort hotel.
Kobe's incident in Colorado was embarrassing because it just shouldn't have happened.
Before dozens of cameras, Los Angeles Laker Kobe Bryant tearfully denied charges he sexually assaulted a 19-year-old woman.
I'm innocent. He didn't make sure, he didn't cover all of his angles in terms of, well, are you cool? Everything's cool, right? You want some breakfast?
Kobe Bryant was embarrassing because the sodomy.
I think he thought he was being smart. Like her butt can't have a baby.
#2, no condom.
You're asking for trouble right there.
What, they don't have condoms in Colorado?
You don't mess with the white girl. They gonna hang him for sure. Kobe went, the day they came and got him, took him to jail. They go, waka, 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 waka. He in there just yapping.
Kobe, you got busted. You got caught. You don't try to take, your boys down with you.
Shaq and Karl Malone and Rick Fox, everybody be straight squilling on everybody.
To think that your wife will forgive you because you buy her a $4 million ring? I mean, cats all over the United States were going, oh, man, no, he didn't just buy her a big ring.
Go figure.
OJ got away, Kobe got to pay.
That was like the highest level of black on black crime.
he talked about pornographic materials, depicting individuals with large. On several occasions, Thomas told me graphically of his own sexual prowess.
Basically, Clarence Thomas was a perv.
But before he even became who he's become, we knew what kind of porno films he liked to watch. We knew about his sense of humor, which was pretty bad.
He got up from the table, went over to his desk, and asked, "Who has put hair on my coat?"
That's not something you forget saying. If I was going to talk about hairs, I'd remember.
How you gonna put a hair on a soda can? Boing! Just want to let you know what's gonna happen if we, Anita Hill wasn't having it. He wanted to crime that heel. He said, "I need a heel." And that heel was that ass.
Plaintiff further testified that on one occasion, defendant Brand presented her with a picture of Long Dong Silver.
And the whole Long Dong Silver thing, isn't that a little outdated? Really, like, update your porn.
Clarence denied it, I think. Yeah. Clarence would have been like, yeah, which volume?
That's the P&P, baby. The best two P's you can do. Politics and porno together.
Clarence Thomas, he's got everything. He's got the black man's American dream. He's got a white woman, and a lifetime job.
Police confirming last night that they do have the suspects they want in hand. 41-year-old John Allen Muhammad and 17-year-old John Lee Malvo are the prime suspects in the case.
That whole DC sniper thing, it lasted a good, what, like 2 months?
Oh, don't bring up the snipers, dog.
It was awful, man. This how you walk down the street in D.C. You had to move from side to side.
You know, sniping and shooting one gas station from long range, that's just not something that we do.
Somebody 200 yards away sniping people? White dude.
Man, we thought it was going to be some white kids with trench coats.
Yeah, we did. They had us fooled. Or some hunters. We thought it would be some hunters with the
Who
black
knew
stuff
it
with the
was some
eyes.
gay Jamaicans?
I thought he was white.
There are only 5 white people in D.C. They live in the White House.
Everybody said the same thing. This here.
Black snipers. That's something out of the Twilight Zone. Those had to be 2 crazy white men. I'm still in denial. They're minstrel snipers. I know you've been looking at all the moments and wondering, can it get any worse? Yes, it can. Here's the moment that is the most shameful, the one that made a mockery of all that's good and beautiful about black people. If this moment were a child, you would disown it. It's Halle Berry's scene in her Academy Award performance. Make me feel good. Oh no, that's my list. Get ready to bow your head in shame for the #1 most moment in black history.
Marion Barry was arrested overnight in an FBI drug sting operation, reportedly videotaped by the FBI.
Oh.
Washington, D.C. mayor, smoking crack.
Nothing could be more embarrassing than the mayor of the capital of the country caught smoking the lowest of low drugs, crack.
Crack rock, crack rock, crack rock, crack rock.
I don't think so.
Went to a hotel room. How can you sneak into a hotel room when you're the mayor of Washington, D.C.? Someone's going to see you go up there.
He gets caught. He tries to deny it. And they spent like $40 million just to trap him.
As soon as the door cracked, he was like, set me up.
Set me up.
Set him up.
Man, set me up. No. This sets you up.
The mayor looked like a criminal. The mayor's never supposed to be like...
What was even worse is that we voted him back in. Like, who cares?
That's what we do.
We don't even
That's what
care.
black people do.
Democrat Marion Barry completed a remarkable comeback. Barry was elected to a 4th term as mayor.
Smoking crack and to become mayor again. That is gangster.
I'm going to leave here and go about the business of government.
A crackhead mayor. And he got reelected. Well, crackheads vote. On that note, everyone who made the list, don't be ashamed. Without you, we wouldn't have a show. And thank you for watching BET's Top 25 Most Moments in Black History. If you enjoyed the show, I'm your host, Paul Mooney. If you didn't, I'm Brian Gumbel.